Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us and welcome to another of my Toys R Us Talking Toys podcasts. So this is something I've not been able to do again in another couple of weeks. Apologies for that, as I'm sure you've seen and I'm sure you're aware, and that's probably what I'm going to be discussing a little bit of today. It has been a crazy couple of weeks, but all for just amazing reasons, to be honest. So in this, I want to talk a lot about, which we've discussed before, don't get me wrong, but as I say, I've been lucky enough to have pretty much most of them in my hands over the last couple of weeks. I definitely want to be talking to you guys about the Age of the Primes toy line. I just think that they've massively, I say Hasbro obviously, I'm going to talk third party later on as well, but I genuinely think that they've hugely upped their game. And as I say, I know a lot of people may contradict me with this or have their own argument, which of course is completely fine, but as I say, having actually held these figures in my hands, first of all, I've got a list of the ones I want to talk about. I'm also going to talk about the Transformer shop and again how good an experience that was with the blockies. In fact, you guys can let me know. What I've got is I've got like a promotional video that was recorded on the day. It's about 25 minutes long. It is a full unboxing and build of the Galaxy Wave 6, which was of course had the IDW Megs and Orion packs in with Sunstreaker, Kickback and all that sort of stuff. We've got a full, I say we, there was me, Sam and Arrowfire. We did the full unboxing sort of promotional video. I've got full 25 minutes. I will upload it for you guys if you want to see it. If you don't, obviously it's a bit of a risk for me to upload 25 minutes, and if it's not watched, my algorithm will completely plummet. So I'll put it up if you guys want to put it on. If you want to see it, you just let me know either on here or on Instagram. But anyway, yeah, the shop, as you saw, it's changed so much in just a week. The amount of figures and the turnover of stock that they are getting now is insane. I am currently compiling a list as well of things for the shop, because that's what they've asked me to do, of things that they think would sell really well. Apart from the really obvious Age of the Primes, which again, guys, it is coming. They are coming into the stock there. You've also seen they had the Jada toys. They updated all the Yolo Park. They updated all the brand new blockies. And indeed, of course, they had the last of the Legacy, and they had all the new Studio series, including, Ape Link, Double Punch, and indeed Galvatron from 86. So as I say, regards to mainline toys, that is a given from now on. You're not going to have to ask. They are going to keep getting them in. They're getting some, I can't say too much, but guys, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Along with the fact as well with the comics and all the comic merch. I keep mentioning the comics because I think at the moment they are huge. And don't forget as well that the website is up and running, so you can get some of the very limited edition merchandise and comic covers, etc. They are exactly that, collector's pieces, which is fantastic. So, and of course the Blockies event, as I say, on Friday was amazing. But I talked about that a bit last week. So as I say, I want to talk about in fact, I want to talk about T-Spark as well, because I've got... In fact, let me quickly talk about T-Spark. That is an amazing figure. Now, by the time that I've put this up, you'll have seen the review on that particular figure. It's sensational. I managed to get a little bit ahead. That's why this is recorded a few hours before it's gone live. Yeah, I mean, I know that, again, a lot of people are panning the new masterpieces with the fact that they've got... I'm not going to say simplistic transformations, but much easier, shall we say, than what they used to be. And I think the T-Spark Rodimus is exactly that. It's doable without, breaking your fingers, going over and over things. For me in particular, I wasn't worried about breaking anything. I said there's a couple of heart and mouth moments, but that figure is sensational. It's die cast. The only downside, of course, is the price. That's the same with all masterpiece figures. The masterpiece figures, I think, in general, are always really kind of expensive, right through, especially, into third party as well. It's just the world we live in, and I don't agree with it. I'm not... what's the word, supporting it. It's one of the things which is what it is, and that's again why I'm constantly selling stuff myself. And again, people keep asking my eBay's toys.r.rus1, I think it's something like that. If I get it wrong, I'll put it in a comment. But yeah, constantly having to recycle my collection to be able to keep up with the new stuff. The only thing I tend to keep hold of is pretty much my G1. But yeah, I'm recycling loads, and I think that's the way that people do it now. In the UK we've got something called Vinted as well as eBay, and everybody's putting figures on there. And I always give this as advice, to be honest, to recycle your collection, because and I speak from experience in a bit of a negative way now. My collection's got to the point where I can't even display it, which I don't really like. One of the things I was asked when I first started doing YouTube was, what advice would you give? And my advice was always be able to see it, because it's your collection. And for me, it brings me joy every single day. You know, when I put, which I have got at the moment, I've got some in storage boxes, and that doesn't bring me any joy because I want to see the figures. So again, that means I've come to the point where I've got to recycle, and I've got to start to sell some figures that I've either done videos on or I just don't see. Or let's be honest, they've updated 14 times already. So for me, that's some advice I give to people, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I don't know where that came from. Where was I going with that? I think I'm sort of going on to, I'm going to go on to anyway with the Age of the Primes. As I say, the fact that Star Convoy for me, it's getting a bit of stick, to be honest, but I want to get across to you guys that in hand he is big, he is robust, he is chunky, he is a perfect homage to the G1 original. It's like they've just made him better. They've just got the original G1, they've added out, it's like basically like a missing link G1, as stupid as that sounds. They've gone in, but not only is it the same size and the same mould, it is way bigger. Way bigger. I didn't expect it to be that big. I don't know why, even though, you know, it's the new, maybe the new Titan class scale, where it's not always huge. But yes, so much fun still. So much fun to play around with. Such a great homage. And of course, let's be honest, it's one of the... I don't really want to play with my original one. And I don't want to, you know, in any way damage it. So the fact that we've got a new and improved one is fantastic. So I wanted to get that across. And of course, Hot Rod was huge, or Rodimus, whichever you want to call him. Hot Rodimus is the Japanese name. He's the full-size core class figure. I was not expecting him to be that big. I don't know what I was expecting. So that for me was a huge shock. And indeed surprise. And again, if in case I didn't say it at the beginning, I can't remember, I like to take all these in one take. It's a massive thank you again to Indemand Toys just for, you know, for their help with regards for the channel, for the figures, and for everything they've done for me over the last year or so. It's been, you know, it's been a complete roller coaster of a journey for myself. So huge thank you to the whole team there, and especially to Nick as well. So I just wanted to get that in. I know I didn't go into that much detail if I did say it, but I definitely wanted to get that in because I owe them a huge amount of, yeah, just debt of help, to be fair. They've been amazing for me. So yeah, moving on to the combiners then. So I know that one of them is Age of the Primes and one of them is Studioseries. But again, guys, I'm doing actual physical shake tests now for people. At the end of the videos, I am vigorously shaking these, you know, these combiner figures. They are so robust. They are so sturdy. They are so compact. I had to update my own video on the combining version of Devastator because there was so many combining points that I missed a few out. But even though on the first video when I'm shaking it around, it's still robust, and then obviously with the new stuff, it's like a brick in a good way, solid. Not as in the articulation's amazing. You can see that. I don't mean in a brick as in like Grandis, funnily enough. I mean as in a brick, as in it's so sturdy. As bad as it sounds, not that I'm going to be knocking any of my figures over, but I wouldn't be worried in the slightest if that fell over on a shelf. It is so robust. It does have the waist swivel, it does have all the articulation in the legs, and again, of course, I am still waiting to attach the limbs to it. And again, just quickly again, if you're new to the channel, yes, I do return them. They're not mine. Mine are all on pre-order, the same as yourself. I'm just very fortunate that I get to have a quick look at them first. Yeah, so that's again, and another thing as well, I know people have been calling me out telling me that they're stolen, and they're not, and anybody who watches this channel will know 100% that they're not. And I do always credit everywhere my figures come from, and it's, you know, as I say, it's exactly that. It's they are legit. I'm getting used to them, having to play with them and then sending them back. But at the same time, one of the main reasons why I'm doing it is answering all the questions for you guys, doing the things that you want me to do. This channel started off, as stupid as it sounds, and it genuinely was. If you go back to, it's 5 years ago now, which is nuts. If you go back to my early videos from when it was just starting lockdown, that I started the channel, and basically it was because from the very, I think, second video, somebody said, oh, if you got this figure, can you show this? And then it escalated from there. And that's genuinely, guys, how this channel started. It started with me having a bit of fun with my little boy, just doing some figure reviews. And then because people had seen I'd done a quick little tour around my room at the time, people were asking me, oh, can you put this figure on? I've seen you've got this, or I've not seen this since I was a child. And it was all about doing that. And I got so many nice messages from so many people saying, you know, you're making everything, you're making my day. I really look forward to you. And that's why I started doing videos daily, which sometimes has perhaps shot me in the foot, because I like to update, but it's also helped me keep constant content on the channel. But yeah, because I was replying to requests, putting figures up, people, again, that people hadn't seen and people had only seen pictures of. So Yeah, this channel is for you guys, and I'll do my best. Even though I can't physically answer every single question now because it takes way too long, I do read them all, and as I say, I do go back to them and I do update them, or I do a short video with the answering the question that you guys have asked. I keep diversifying today, so it's not a bad thing. But again, that's exactly what I do. I go off the cuff. I like to get all bases covered, and as I say, especially with these newer figures. So even on the worst case scenario that you've asked me a question and I've handed it back, I'll do what I did with the Studioseries 86 Optimus Prime. I handed that back, and I didn't get mine obviously for a couple of months after that, but that gave me 2 months to write down all the little things that people wanted me to do. And then I called it a cheeky little, I called it the definitive review, because I'd answered about 70 questions in that one video. That's why it was so long and so detailed, and that's exactly why I did it. And that's what I'm going to do with these new ones as well. And again, I want to talk about, I suppose, Wasp is a slightly different, because Wasp's just a retool, sorry, not a retool, well, slightly retool because the head and redeco of the animated Bumblebee. That's just a great figure. The Devastation Optimus, I was slightly surprised with in a good way, because it's just a very basic figure, but again, you've got to remember the deluxe price point. Fallen is still just fantastic. That figure's insane. He's so big, he's so robust and chunky as well. I haven't had a chance to have a look at Solus yet. She is on pre-order for me to come, so I can't wait to have a look at that. Just, I want to get across to you guys, as I say, and I know I'm fortunate that the whole Age of the Primes, it's living up to everything that we thought it was, and then some. Same with the Voyager class that I took and unboxed to TF Nation. They were all great. Skybite is a huge Voyager. Heatwave is a great use of the bulkhead mould. Prima was fantastic. Can't wait to get my Prima. And indeed, Red Alert for me. But I'm not going to say, Red Alert for me was the least. I don't have an affinity for the Unicron trilogy, which is a bad thing. I need to start watching them all. I appreciate the toys, 100%. I like the toys. I suppose what I'm trying to say is, for me, it wasn't. Whereas for a lot of people I know, it's their one that they're most excited about. They're absolutely, really beside themselves that we've got an updated Armada Red Alert. So it's a great toy, but as I say, for me, it was the weakest out of the four for me. And that's, again, the beauty of this hobby, the beauty of what we collect. Most people probably won't like Heatwave, but I like Heatwave because it reminds me of watching Rescue Bots with my son. Skybot I liked because again, don't know RID, but I just appreciate a really good toy and clever toy. So that was that one. And Prima I just absolutely loved, because I don't know why. I like that figure a lot, to be fair. So yes, guys, the Age of the Primes is living up, and the new Studioseries 86 are living up to everything that we dreamt and thought they would be, and then some, to be honest. I really do think that they are, and I see a lot of nice comments. People just saying exactly the same thing. That I know, even with the Grimlock that I put up the other day, it's the fifth use of that mold. The sixth will be the Godzilla one. People like myself are still buying it because it's a great mold. People are going to take a pass on it because they've got got one already. That's absolutely fine. That again is beautiful. That's the best thing about this, again, collecting game that I'm always talking about. So I really wanted to get across to you that they are so much better in hand, and if my videos don't do them any justice, then hopefully you can take my word for the fact that they are all great. Quick one, go back to Superion, because he's getting a lot of flack for the way that the jets are, to quote unquote, just stuck onto the limbs. And I think that's the way they're all going to be now, to be honest. That is just, it looks like we're going to get this sort of exoskeleton or whatever it is to be attached to them. And if it makes them robust and if it makes them cartoon accurate, then we've got to, I suppose, embrace it. Gone are the days, when we were lucky enough as kids, or unlucky enough, because the heads were the connector tabs for all of the Scramble City bots that we had. So if you broke the head, then A, you couldn't connect it, but B, you didn't even have a figure. So I've still got a slingshot with a missing head that my little boy, he's had for a few years, bless him. But yeah, and again, so there's none of that. So that, yes, it was incredibly original, and it was incredibly nostalgic, and really, really fun to do. But with this new one, you've got no chance of damaging the actual figure. And they're all ball and socket joints anyway. They're all completely safe. But the old way of where you didn't need the kibble, apart from the feet which you stuck on and the fists which you stuck on, and the fact that they did all merge together so well. You had compromises. I'm never gonna slate them, because I loved it, and I know loads of people, and thousands and millions of people probably, who loved it. Probably got to be millions, because if you think how many they sold in the 80s, it must be millions. But unfortunately, in this day and age, because and I say we, but I don't mean me. I'm not fussed, to be fair. I like toy decos and I like things quite simple. But I think as the Transformers fandom, they don't want that. They want cartoon accuracy. They want exact scale. They want this movie and they want this articulation. So you go back to all the G1 combiners and yeah, there was no articulation in them at all. You could swing your arm around. You could, in some cases, I think the legs only went out to the side. I don't even think they went forward thinking about it, especially not with Bruticus. But yeah, so you know, we had to have the sacrifice. The sacrifice was our articulation, but again, the toys, we had our imagination. Whereas nowadays, you've got the sacrifices that you might not like the fact that it's not 100% combiner and it's got a frame or it's got an additional waistband or whatever. But you are getting what you want. You want to see. You want to see exact screen representation, cartoon accuracy, you've got it. You want robustness, which again they've said they've got an abundance at the moment, and indeed you want articulation, and that's what these frames, what they do. And as I say, I'm not fussed, I can embrace either. I'm really easy to please. If it looks good on a shelf, then I'm happy with that. And I know that's not always the greatest way. I mean, I'm an adult collector. For a kid, it's probably going to be slightly different. For people who do toy photography, theirs is going to be different to me because they want the articulation, they want it to look good. There's loads of different things, and I thank myself that I'm not a designer because I just know you can't please everybody. So it's tough, but there you go. So yeah, I've mentioned the T-Spark. As I say, that is fantastic. Doctor Wu, they're going to do their version of Devastator, which I'm really intrigued to see when that comes out. To be fair, I've just had a load of them delivered, which is all the Seeker Jets and of course all the decos of Starscream. They're just a bit of fun, as I say, as well, which I like looking forward to. I've still got to get around to doing the Magic Square version of Onslaught. I'm intrigued with that. It's just getting crazier. I thought it was perhaps just be last year with the 40th anniversary. This year is just as bad. Next year, because it's the 40th anniversary of the movie, of the 86 movie, obviously, it's not holding up in any way, shape or form. I'm going to also be doing a video, guys, to let you know if you're in the UK, and if you haven't got your ticket for the TF UK Con, which is the smaller convention in May next month, as I say, the tickets are still on sale for that. I need to let you guys know that, because that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be there. I can't wait for that. That's another event that's coming on. So really looking forward to that. It is the NEC Toy Fair this Sunday as well. Reminder to everybody, I'm not going to be doing a store, but I should be there just in person to go doing some hunting, toy hunting with a lot of people I'm looking forward to meeting up with there as well. And to be honest, I think, as I say, I'm not going to go for the full 20 minutes because I think I've covered everything I wanted to say up to now. With the fact that just this one, I wanted to specifically talk to you about the new toys, how good they are, and things that are going on. I do promise to get back to doing the Fan Home Optimus Prime as well. That was going pretty well. I think people were enjoying that, and I will get around to carrying on building that. So with regards to things to look forward to on the channel, it's going to end up being nearly 20 minutes in here looking at this. I'm going to be doing a live this Friday night instead of Saturday because I'm very busy this Saturday. And then so that's a free-for-all, guys, and just jump in, just come in. What I mean by that is, I'm not one of these people who says you have to be a member, you have to be subscribed. As long as you want to come, if you want to ask me a question, that'd be great. Just most people are, and they might even put comments on here as well, they like it just because it gives them the opportunity to speak to people around the world. Everybody's like-minded, and to be honest, the chat goes crazy, and sometimes people aren't even asking me anything, they're just chatting amongst themselves, which is just so great to see. That this channel does bring so many different fans from all four corners. I don't know why they say that, because the world's round, from everywhere on this particular planet. So there we go. So I think I'm going to end it there. That is enough. I want to say to you again, Age of Prime's definitely worth it. Toy Hunt coming up on Thursday to make sure that they're on normal retail shelves, and so many reviews I've got to catch up on, including a little Blockies one. In fact, you'll have seen that already because it's going to go up just before this video. But yeah, loads of Blockies, loads of Age of the Primes, loads of third party, and as always, just thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your support. Take care.